Ooh, law and crime poll. 74% no, 26% yes. What's on my poll? 25% NGI, 50% competent, 25% hung jury. 13 votes so far. Quick, vote!
Four-person, is that
Get your
correct?
votes in, get your votes in.
If you could hand your verdict to the bailiff.
Yeah, nice relaxation after this. At least it was only 4 days.
Okay. The verdict seems to be in order, and I will read it as follows. Question 1. At the time the crimes were committed, did the defendant have a mental disease or mental defect? Answer, no. There's no answer then for question 2. It is dated this date, July 27, 2023, signed by the foreperson. There were no dissenting jurors. Is there a request by either of the parties to have the jury polled? Mr. Saunders?
No.
What is
Fralick?
sentencing?
Yes. All right. We did this the last time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to poll you again. I'm going to start in the back. Ma'am, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
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 Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ma'am, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Start down here. Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ma'am, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ma'am, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, your service in this case is now completed. Many jurors ask if they are allowed to discuss the case with others after receipt of the verdict. Because your role in this case is over, you are not prohibited from discussing the case with anyone.
That was
However,
quick.
you should know that you do not have to discuss the case with anyone or answer any questions about it from anyone other than from the court. This includes the parties, lawyers, the media, or anyone else. If you do decide to discuss this case with anyone, I would suggest you treat any discussion with a degree of solemnity, such that whatever you do say, you would be willing to say in the presence of your fellow jurors or under oath here in open court in the presence of the parties. It is in the public interest that there be the utmost freedom of debate in the jury room, and that jurors be permitted to express their views without fear of incurring the anger of any litigants or criticism of any person. Please respect the privacy of the views of your fellow jurors. Finally, I'd like to address you before you leave, so if you can just wait in the jury room for a few minutes, I'd appreciate that. And you may confer with me at any time before answering any questions from anyone. I wanted you to know that as well. And with that, we excuse the jury. All rise for the jury.
Shiro, you are gonna fucking rip out all my wires. Come here, Shiro. What are you doing, buddy? This little quirky guy. Little quirky guy. Oh, are you shaking? Don't fly here. Come here. Buddy, don't fly.
Be seated.
Where's your
Then,
fly?
having received this verdict
hi,
as well as the
Steve.
prior two,
Cute little
does the
portrait.
state have a motion regarding the verdicts? Mr. Saunders.
I'd ask the court to accept the verdicts and enter a judgment of conviction. I do have a certified copy of a judgment of conviction.
Let me see Steve behind me.
Case 20 CF 998
Steve.
as the basis of the repeater allegation in counts 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh, you get
Those will be
fajitas?
received.
Ah, delicious.
Mr. Frelick, any response to that request?
Your Honor, I bring a motion for judgment notwithstanding the verdict. I believe there's testimony, ample testimony in the record that my client was suffering from a mental disease or defect at the time of these offenses, and that she lacked the substantial capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct and conform her conduct to the requirements of the law. I'd ask that you consider all of the testimony from Dr. Lighton, who is a seasoned veteran in the field of psychology, and the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I've listened to the entirety of the testimony over these last several days, and specifically regarding today's testimony with regard to the responsibility phase. I'm satisfied that the evidence is sufficient to support the jury's verdict, and I'm going to adjudge the defendant guilty on count 1 of first-degree intentional homicide as a repeater, count 2, mutilating a corpse as a repeater, and count 3, third-degree sexual assault as a repeater. I'm going to revoke bond at this time then, and I'm going to order a pre-sentence investigation report be conducted. I'll order that be released no later than 1 week in advance of sentencing.
Pre-sentence investigation. What's that?
that out here. I already have a scheduled jury trial on September 19th and 20th, Your Honor.
Busy, busy. Doc from Back to the Future? She looks kind of sad, maybe.
September 26th.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes like sentencing doesn't happen until like a month or two out.
I just have an inquiry. Would it be set for the whole day? For half a day? I've got hearings that day, but I could try to move some things around.
I understand, Mr. Fraley, and I'd appreciate it if you could do that. That's 2 months
He
out.
does not look like Dr. Spiegel. Oh my God. No, he does
I
not.
have things on that day too, and you might be getting a phone call. You might be getting a phone call from my office asking if one of these cases can be moved, which will be easy to get permission for me to do that. But I would schedule it for 8:30 in the morning. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I would plan on the matter taking the entirety of the day.
Your Honor, I think I can move everything, but if it could could it start at 9:30?
Sure, I don't have a problem with that. 9:30 in the morning. Mr. Saunders, I see you checking in the back with, I'm assuming with the crime victim.
That. Sure.
Is that an acceptable date to schedule?
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay. September 26th, 9:30 in the morning. I'll have that scheduled for the balance of the day.
She's in La La Land. Yeah, I don't know. She's a weird read.
He asked for it to start at 9:30.
Yes.
All right, very good.
With Lori Vallow, Letitia, Murdoch, when we had like the guilty, and that they're competent, it was like, yes! I don't know, with Taylor Schabusiness, even though that the crime was like extremely gruesome and what she did to Shab was like really, really fucked up, and to his family as well, I don't know. I just, I don't know. I just have like mixed emotions about this one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel bad for her because I think she does have like her issues and stuff. But when I was like, more inclined of like believing her defense, like, I don't know, I just felt like they just didn't really seal it for me. So I would have probably voted what the jury did as well. Like, I don't know, they just didn't seal it for me. It was like almost there, but I don't know. Maybe like 70% wasn't like, there's still like 30% more that needed more to be filled. I don't know what I'm talking about now. But yeah, I don't know.
Anything else before we adjourn, Mr. Saunders?
No.
Mr. Freilich?
Your Honor, that pre-sentence report, if I only have a week.
Like, don't get me wrong. There were times where I was just really fucking disgusted at like how she was acting and stuff. Like her laughing there, giggling, talking about when they're, trying to decide whether or not the bucket and the head in the bucket was going to be shown, the photos. But like, I don't know. I think there's just something about her that is very off. But I don't know.
I can imagine this one's going to be long. Could I have a little bit more time? Maybe get it 10 days before?
I will. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order that it be released no later than 2 weeks in advance of sentencing. This hearing is about.
But at the same time, like, would I feel comfortable if she was released to the public like 5 to 10 years from now? Oh man, I don't know. That's a huge burden for the jury to think about too. So I don't know if I would. Maybe if she was like locked up in the mental institution for the rest of her life, but she was getting treatment and medication and all that stuff, then yeah, maybe I would vote for that. But that is not how it works, right? If you get better, excuse me, if you get better, I believe you just get released. So
2 months out. I didn't count the weeks, but I think we can get it done in that amount of time because they tell us they can get them done in 6 to 8 weeks. So
like, I feel like she's just very
that's well
like
ordered. Okay.
Thank you.
childish,
And with that,
immature.
the matter is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't know. Or is she just a drug addict, you know? Sentencing? No, that's a judge. Jury's done. They could do their interviews. They done. So for sentencing, I'm assuming they're going to probably have like victim impact statements where Shad's family will probably come in and talk about how she's impacted, you know, their life after what she did. Maybe like some people from her side of the family will talk. I don't know. You think she's beyond help at this point? Yeah, she's probably spent life there too. It's interesting because a number of people do feel bad for her, but you don't. She's one of the few that it's like all her own fault. Yeah, no, I definitely like agree. Like it's like she definitely like fucking did this, but like I don't know. There's just like something about her where it's like I think something's up with her. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just have a weak spot because I saw the way she was communicating with her dad and how she like, you know, like communicate with her lawyer just now. And I'm like, oh, she's human. Maybe. I don't know. Fuck. It's hard. It's hard. But you know what? The judge, he reminds you when you make your decision, you can't make your decision based on like sympathy, emotions. Okay. You can't do that. You can't be biased. Whenever someone has had a traumatic childhood, people are allowed to feel sympathetic, and I feel like they should have really should have like dived into that more. They were talking about shit like a child, like I don't know, like history of like abuse, sexual abuse in her childhood, but I felt like that wasn't really like talked about. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the psychologist like just needed to have like another, more like a deeper in-depth like interview with her, because I think they only met for like 2 hours. So maybe the psychologist could have uncovered more about her, but maybe she wasn't willing to talk. I don't know. Anyways, that's the Taylor Schabusiness trial. Ended on day 4. This was in Wisconsin. Guilty, and she's found to be mentally competent during the time of the murder, where she brutally murdered her friend, Shatharian. If it 2 hits of meth, that should kill someone. It did. Just not her. Oof. The death of her mom. Yeah, they talked about that, but I just felt like it was just kind of like glazed over. I don't know. I feel like they should have really like, I don't know, really talked about it more. About like her childhood, her upbringing and stuff like that. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, this happened, this happened. It was like the doctor just like sat there and it was like read like from a sheet of paper and then was like jumping around everywhere. So I've observed people that have used meth and other drugs. They show symptoms or signs that closely resemble mental illness, but knowing their history, you can distinguish between the two. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what the state was saying, right? So they're saying that, like, you know, she decided to use meth, and the reason why her actions happened, or the reason why the murders happened, is because she was, you know, using meth and she just went out of control. What happened? I missed it. Well, the live stream will be up. I changed my YouTube settings, which I didn't know you can do. So now, from now on, in my YouTube settings, my live stream will automatically go live. So it shouldn't like stop if you're like, say if you're watching it from an hour from now. If I end the live stream, I think it just like ends it, and then you guys have to refresh it or something. But it should be good now. Wow. You know what? I was gonna read a Sarah Boone letter, but maybe we'll save that for. You want to do that like a different day? I think we'll save Sarah Boone for a different day. I feel like today was a lot. I don't know if you want to end with Sarah Boone. But yeah, we got another Sarah Boone stuff update. Sarah Boone, someone in the chat asked earlier, and I was going to reply, but they were talking. Yeah, her stuff did get pushed back. She's going to have 2 pretrial hearings in September, and her trial is set for October at the time being. I think actually, you know what? I think her trial is set the same time as Koberger, isn't it? Aren't they both set for like October 2nd right now? Let me see. Never shoot. Oh, shit. Yeah. Boone and Koberger's trial are set at the same time. Oh, my God. I mean, I think I think for sure Koberger probably going to get pushed. Maybe even both. Boone, too. She's crazier than a bed bug. Yeah, I think for the Sarah Boone one, when we hear that guilty, that will be satisfying because Sarah Boone is such a piece of shit.